So I want to point out that this isn't so much about discovering what happened to her, because what happened to her is already in the public domain. It's already public knowledge what happened to Iniobong Umoren. What the story was about was to establish two things. First, that the primary suspect, that's Ezekiel Frank Uduak Akpan, who is being treated by the Akwa Ibom State Police Command as the sole suspect, is not in fact the sole suspect, that he has help, that he was working with people, and that the Akwa Ibom State Police Command, for whatever reason, for reasons best known to themselves, are actively trying to conceal this fact. And that secondly, and perhaps almost as important, that the case that could be constructed for anything other than an individual conviction of Frank Akpan is being intentionally bungled by the Akwa Ibom State Police Command. And this can be proven by the fact that his hideout, his lair, where several people have been able to gain access to see the remains of his previous victims, their bones, shoes, uniforms, those sorts of things. People have been traipsing through that place freely for the past 3 or 4 days, effectively contaminating an active crime scene and rendering all the what would otherwise be very valuable evidence there inadmissible in court. And the Akwa Ibom State Police Command is aware of this, and they're letting it happen. So either this is incompetence or this is deliberate, that the case that could be built for anything other than simply convicting this 20-year-old guy as to take the fall for what is clearly a bigger issue than just him, is being intentionally bungled by the Akwa Ibom State Police Command. Now, some of the things that I pointed out specifically in the report were that, first of all, in the immediate aftermath of the period when he committed the murder, which was on April 29, 2021, one of the first people that he contacted. Now, I was able to get this information because I have an insider at a telecoms company who basically leaked this data to me. And by the way, all the data that I have, the Nigeria Police Force has access to the same data. So you'd have to ask them why, even though they have access to this same data, they haven't done anything with it. And they've been acting as if they don't know everything that I've said, because they had it even before I did. They are the police. They have this data. Now, what the data shows is that in the immediate aftermath of the period when this Frank Akpan fellow committed this murder, one of the first people that he contacted on the phone within 24 hours was a fellow called Kufre Effiong. And I was able to validate this by pulling the phone number, which I got from the call records through Truecaller. 2 different numbers were used to have this communication with Kufre Effiong, and both showed up as belonging to this Kufre Effiong guy. I dug into this guy's past. This guy is a civil servant. He's a senior forest officer at the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. And the call records were able to place him at a direct street address, which was at S9G unit at Ewet Housing Estate in Uyo, which is the site of Davok Suites, which is a very well-known hotel in Uyo. Hotel which also, by the way, happens to be owned by Ekaite Akpabio, who is Godswill Akpabio's wife. And Godswill Akpabio is the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. Now, this fellow contacted this Kufre Effiong guy. Bear in mind, he has just killed a young job seeker. He has just brutally raped and murdered a young job seeker. He goes and contacts this guy for whatever reason. I don't have access to the actual call.
I don't want to cut you midstream, David, but I would like us to make it easier to understand the story. So let's take a little bit of it with the Commissioner of Police in Akwa Ibom. Commissioner, please help us understand. That's an allegation from somebody who has done a little bit of investigation of on this matter. How true is it that the police seem to have allowed the contamination of an incident, a crime incident, place like that? What happened? Can you help us understand what happened?
I will say good evening, viewers. I hope you are hearing me. Are you hearing me? You are hearing me?
Very clear. Please go ahead.
Yes. It's most unfortunate that meanings and different stories are being read into what happened. We got the information in the morning of 30th that they were looking for Iniobong, Umoren. And we did our best. We traced and traced till somebody from, a gentleman from the social media came up and assisted with pictures and whatever, and we're able to get at the root cause and the father of Akpan. At the end of the day, Akpan ran out of Uyo, was said to have gone far into, as far as even Calabar, before they managed to convince him to come back because he kept denying that he knew nothing. At the end of interrogation and questioning, he confessed to what he did, and policemen went straight to the scene of crime and were able to exhume the body. Akpan and his father, who got to know of this thing later, are still being interrogated as we speak. There is no reason why anybody or any police officer would cover murder.
All right.
This case started as a case of suspected kidnap. And it was after the arrest of Frank Akpan and his confession that we were able to know that that's gone beyond kidnap to murder. Men of anti-kidnapping took him out. After questioning and interrogation, he confirmed that he killed the lady and went to show them the scene. And immediately we called the homicide department to come in, and homicide department came in. They were able to exhume the body, and they deposited it in at the mortuary. Immediately, the case changed from kidnapping to murder. We are open to every available information that we can get. We want to appreciate members of the ICT who have been assisting and the social media, but they are blowing it too far. Whatever information they have, they should let us have it. Investigation is ongoing, it's not yet concluded, though the autopsy report is already out. We are open to all information that is credible. The police has never and will never in any way condone and cover any person for murder. I am a father. She's not older than any of my daughters, and I cannot condone such a thing.